Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the um, Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the benefit of the NXT review for the 24th of June 2020. Not really a fan of this show, to be completely honest with you. It's more of a. There's good stuff mixed in with a bunch of bad stuff, but next to the AEW show, it really does pale in comparison. And the idea that they're bringing back the Great American Bash concept just because they're scared of AEW outshining them yet again is just, it's pathetic sad. Number one, they haven't been worried about it until now, but the fact of the matter is, a company that's been around less than a full year as far as a television product is beating their tail more often than not, even if it is their third brand. And I would even venture to say that if you give them another 2 or 3 years with shows like tonight, they will beat their butts with the secondary brand or the first level brand. Give it 3 years, and I think AEW will be able to beat anything they've put out there. Anyway, so show opens with a ridiculous angle from the outside. Supposedly, Cameron Grimes jumps Damian Priest, but we don't really see that. It's called happening an hour ago in the parking lot, and we don't see the attack. All we see is Grimes bragging about it. We see Damian Priest slumped over in his car, and his legs are kind of hanging out his door. Somehow the trainers run out. They seem worried about this. Then they ask where it hurts, and he says it's his back. It's like, number one, is Damian Priest enough of a baby face that people are going to care about this? Probably not. Even still. Why is a camera crew there an hour early? Why is a camera crew listening to Cameron Grimes? Why? Just none of this makes any sense. So, Grimes is gloating over this. He figures that he will be opening the show in the ring and going to win. And Grimes lies and says that Damian Priest slashed his own tires last week. Okay, so we're calling him psychotic now. And then, Grimes claims that Priest is afraid to wrestle him, and he insists the ref counts him out. Grimes attacked him as Priest comes hobbling out and rolls in the ring. Grimes manages to beat Priest with the cave-in the eventual match. I mean, it's a short match. They do a good job of working over the back. Priest fights, I guess, in good babyface style against the injury. But, I mean, if this were even remotely real, if you just got jumped by whomever, would you really take on a match less than an hour later? I mean, probably not, right? You'd rest up. Now, if it's a street fight and you just go at the guy, sure. But again, you're not going to hobble out there and prepare yourself for a match. Anyway, so Grimes is out there. He's targeting the back, and Priest fights back here and there. Priest manages to trap Grimes. They go back to the back several times. Grimes uses the ring apron, among other things. Priest comes back with a kick, and then he goes for a razor's edge on the floor, which, if his back is messed up, how does he even get in position for such a move? Grimes counters that and delivers a double stomp to Priest's back, which should have been the end if his back is as injured as is claimed. Grimes uses the cave-in to pin him in the middle. And then we go to another stupid segment. That is the Robert Stone trying to convince Rhea Ripley to join the Robert Stone brand. Now, I get the idea of a geeky, wimpy manager, except for one small problem. Whether it was Harvey Whippleman or Jim Cornette or Sebastian in the GWF, some of the people that they would manage would, I don't know, win pretty regularly, at least until the point where the manager got over. Not with this fool. No, all of his charges lose and then drop him because, well, we write such awesome television that we can't even use basic logic that a grade schooler could put together. In order to have somebody that we care about, they have to have winners first. Anyway, he complains about being put in a trash can last week. He complains about his heart and his body being hurt with this. He says that Aaliyah has signed with him. That's a tremendous career move. Anyway, he has a golden ticket for Ripley that would allow her a second chance to come aboard. And then he's carrying on about all of this. Rhea Ripley is unimpressed, as she should be. And then she punches him. And then Aaliyah runs up. And not before putting him in a dumpster. Gee, I wonder where they got that idea. Could it be the Britt Baker angle from AEW last week? So we're so not creative here in NXT land, which makes me sad because it wasn't that long ago, 3.5 years ago, that this was the most creative brand they had. So we're so uncreative now, though, that we steal from our competition not even a week later, and yet we're going to claim we don't. Okay, so anyway, Aaliyah, who must be a complete fool, runs up, confronts Rhea Ripley before slapping her. Now, she does a really good facial here. However, when you slap somebody who's completely nuts, who also is extremely angry, you might want to, I don't know, run away. However, this does not dawn on Aaliyah, and instead, Rhea Ripley uses the golden ticket metaphor and says that, in fact, Aaliyah has a golden ticket for a match with Rhea Ripley later on this evening. Meh, not the best. So, hey, something I like finally comes along. There is a vignette for Timothy Thatcher's training. Thatcher stretches and tortures some wrestlers like he's basically trying to be Stu Hart or something else. What I find amazing is he stretches the heck out of these people with simple holds that probably will be undersold when he gets to use them on the main roster. But here is the even better part. At the end, he says, and we've all had fun. That was hilariously funny, at least to me. Anyway, we move on to the Cruiserweight Championship match with Santos Escobar, with Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, who defeats Jake Atlas in a non-title match. Escobar does pin Atlas clean. I mean, I'm not sold on Escobar yet, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt because, well, why not? However, there is a challenge with this too, and that is, if he's like a master manipulative heel, right? Shouldn't he, I don't know, not want to fight people? In which case he should be ordered to fight by William Regal or some other equal authority rather than just volunteering to do so out of nowhere. I mean, at the end of the day, isn't that part of being a heel? And we haven't really been told why Mendoza or Wilde are on his side. We've done no storyline development, so he has lackeys without reasons. Plus, I suppose Old Man Vince is in the middle of Stableville because we've got Seth Rollins with his troop on Raw. Now this troop over here, we actually have a woman version of Big Daddy Cool on NXT now too. It's kind of like we're trying to revert back 25 years ago, but we're doing it with talent that doesn't have as much storytelling as we had when storytelling was much easier. I don't quite get how you have 30 or 40 writers, yet none of them can come up with basic backstory for talent that deserve it. Anyway, Atlas looks good here. He gets a shine early. He keeps Escobar on the defensive until the lackeys on the outside distract him for a minute. There's a shove into the dasher boards, which, if we're going to do shoves into the dasher boards, could we limit it to once per television program, please? There must have been at least 3 or 4 of these tonight, and it's just, number one, why have them if you're not going to use them as distancing tools? Number two, I'm waiting for one of them to shatter, somebody get hurt, and I understand it's probably shattered with glass or something equally obsequious, and therefore the odds of it actually breaking are limited. But still, if it never breaks, then what the heck is it? And you're going to turn people off with this. Anyway, Escobar is working a slower style now. He unmasked because supposedly he wants to be more than a luchador. However, the announcers keep talking about his luchador history, so I'm not sure how that's working. He also had already previously unmasked in Mexico, so anybody that has any international knowledge really isn't going to care about this unmasking because, well, it's already been done. And, you know, it's... Anyway, so Atlas makes a comeback, and he's going nuts. He hits a series of moves. He hits a standing moonsault, which looks pretty good. That gets him a near fall. Atlas moonsaults onto the floor so he could take out the lackeys on the outside, which, if there's no crowd, why do you do this from a logic standpoint? But also, if you really want to beat the champion, which should be your goal even in a non-title match, wouldn't you think that you'd focus on that? I hate that they make baby faces look stupid. Like, they have control of the match, and then, oops, gotta jump outside the ring because we're dumb. Anyway, so Atlas springboards back into the ring and catches Escobar with a headlock DDT for near fall. I thought that was Andrade's thing. Anyhow, we go into Atlas getting cut off, and Escobar executes the Phantom Driver. He gets the win. So we've just had Escobar, who could use some challengers, by the way, get defeated by probably one of his better challengers pretty cleanly. This makes a lot of sense. So they do the sequel with the Roderick Strong getting in the trunk. He does actually manage to get in the trunk during this particular segment. This is just dumb. He will face Dexter Lumis tonight. When we get there, it gets dumber, so hold on if you enjoy stupidity. Malcolm Bevins is in. He's talking about India's Sheer. He cuts a pretty blasé promo on Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan, who probably is the best tag team they have in NXT right now. Might be the best tag team other than the New Day currently on the roster, since the Usos are out because one of them is injured. Anyway, this sets up a match between these two teams, which makes me feel really bad for Lorcan and Burch, who are much more talented than they're given credit for and will be given credit for. So they hype the upcoming champion versus champion match, which I assume is going to be a non-finish, which then, if it's a non-finish, you've hyped this matchup for a couple of weeks and you give people something anticlimactic. It's kind of like, hey, I want to spend time with you, I want to spend time with you, I want to spend time with you with the new girl or guy in your life, and then you go to sleep. It just and then if you do unify the championships, you've just nullified one of the better parts of NXT, which is a secondary championship that actually has value. So either way you go with this hotshot booking of the idea of a unification match, you lose something. Anyway, so we move on to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez defeating Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. Dakota Kai submits Catanzaro to win the contest. So Gonzalez is probably one of the better women they have right now in terms of look, potential, charisma, and stuff. She's got to do some ring work. She's got to get more seasoned. Her facials probably have to improve a bit, but she at least gets the presence piece and has a size that's unique, has a look that's unique, and could be something fun. Gonzalez is obviously playing the monster, and they spend a lot of time trying to get her off her feet. Gonzalez is not going for this very much at all, and then she manages to tag out. Double team continues with the baby faces doing a lot of teamwork. I like the team, actually, of Catanzaro and Carter. I just don't think they should have been put here to be feed for Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota Kai, I still don't get anything in. Of course, I have to go back and watch her turning on her friend, what is it, Tegan Knox or whatever her name is. I have to go back in time and watch that, and maybe I'll care more about her then. But they've certainly cooled her off from where she was, 8 months ago or 6 months ago or whatever it was, when that was a main story. And cooling someone off because it's not working is probably not the best of options. Anyway, Kai cuts off Catanzaro, and the heels get heat on her for a minute. Carter jumps up and tries the pinning attempt at one point. Carter goes nuts after a hot tag, gets near falls on Kai. They try some catapult into a modified Thez press. This time it's on Gonzalez. Gonzalez is too powerful. She's caught in a huge power bomb. Kai then tags in and hits a submission for the win. Nothing. I mean, nothing there that makes me go, "Hey, I've got to see anybody other than Raquel Gonzalez." But they don't seem to be breaking her away and doing anything with her that's meaningful. So, anyway, that's just dumb. So Kai calls out Io Shirai, which is a waste of Shirai. I don't know who they put her with in NXT because they haven't really built anybody up well. And with Charlotte going on the injured list, that's not boding well either. Hope this isn't a title program. Hope it's just a blip in the road because I don't see where Kai is going to be at her level. Maybe Io can raise her, don't know. Anyway, Killian Cross with Scarlett defeats Bronson Reed. This, I guess, is okay in some regards, but not the way I would have done with this at all, because Killian Cross probably is one of maybe, if I had to put things in line to beat Adam Cole, Cross is probably maybe third on the list, behind only Keith Lee. And I'm trying to think of who else I was thinking. But maybe second on the list. But regardless, he shouldn't be having a competitive match with anyone at this point. He should be still running through people like you can't believe. So Reed goes nuts at the start. Quick cut off by Cross. Cross does hit a pretty awesome exploder suplex. Reed fights back. Reed's been given too much in this match for this purpose. He hits a German of his own, and then Cross takes some splashes in the corner, but this fires him up, which then you wonder why splashes in the corner affect other people as offensive maneuvers. Cross hits a Northern Light suplex into a float over and a lariat. He hits a salto suplex and cross bracket for the submission. I know that people are going to say I'm nitpicking, but this is one of the things, especially when I saw on Dynamite tonight with their women's match, literally a match that had two moves. Cross is still at that point where he shouldn't be taking anybody's offense as anything meaningful unless it's somebody that's significant. Having him take offense from enhancement talent, which is what Reed is at this point anyway, it's just it's poorly done. So Adam Cole's up for an interview. He basically says he doesn't care who he faces out of the winner of the triple threat match tonight, and he says he wants to be known as champ. He says the question is stupid. So if the question's stupid and the interviewers are stupid, then why do wrestlers continually go and stand in front of people holding microphones if they know that they're going to be asked dumb things? Again, you can't put down everything and not have it eventually come back to bite you in the tail. Anyway, Rhea Ripley defeats Aaliyah relatively quickly. Of course, Aaliyah has Robert Stone with her, which doesn't seem to help her much. Rhea Ripley ragdolls her. Nothing works, not even heel stuff. And then applies a standing scorpion submission, and Stone throws his shoe at her, I guess paying homage to J.J. Dillon, although when J.J. did it, it actually made sense. Some of the time, anyway. Ripley chases Stone around, and she catches him. She ripped off his sports jacket. Stone flails around, rolls into the ring, and delivers a riptide, covers Aaliyah for the win. How the mighty have fallen. Rhea Ripley 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whatever it is, was like up there with Flair, and now she's in throwaway matches that really don't matter. Then we have another waste of a segment. Wow, I can't believe, literally I've gotten to maybe 2 things I like in this whole show. Anyway, Dexter Lumis, Roderick Strong, Lumis wins by countout. They barely touch. So Strong gets in the ring, runs away in fear. This is the whole concept. Fish tries to encourage him. It doesn't work. Lumis goes after Strong and slowly stalks him. Strong throws himself into the plexiglass, trying to run away. Fish left ringside. Lumis locks him in the finish that he has. Fish escapes by rolling out. And, wow. Undisputed Era's been built up for, a year and a half, and they look like they can't handle some wrestling school dropout with a psychotic complex. Anyway, so Stone and Aaliyah are backstage. They're chatting with Regal. Regal puts them in a 2-on-1 match against Rhea Ripley next week. If Ripley loses, she has to join the Robert Stone brand. You know where this is going. They've done this angle before, and that's even worse. Next week, they announce a fatal 4-way for the number 1 contenders with Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, and Dakota Kai. I assume Kai wins this. Roderick Strong also meets Dexter Lumis in a strap match next week. They could have done another runaway match before going to the strap match, but we don't think that way. Anyhow, they're billing this as the Great American Bash, a la U.S. Independence Day. This just reeks of them trying to sound important, because if they actually cared about using the name or they cared about making events special, they would have given it more than 1 week's hype. Main event, which was good. Your main event, of course, Keith Lee defending the North American Championship against Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano. They tell a good story here. I guess this is worth going out of your way to see, along with the, 15 to 45 second Timothy Thatcher thing, but the rest of this show is completely skippable. Lee pins Balor to retain in what really was a good match. So, first half of this match basically turned into both Gargano and Balor trying to take Lee off his feet, get Lee at a disadvantage. Lee looks like a complete powerhouse the entire match. Balor and Gargano bumping feet all around for him. They make him look like $1 million. Lee's handling both of them handily when they return from commercial. Both of them try to apply sleeper holds and other choke holds and the like. Lee throws them off like it doesn't matter. And Lee finally goes down to a knee but powers out, breaks the hold, gets back to his feet and uses several power moves. Balor and Gargano work together again, and Lee suplexes both of them overhead. Balor again applies a sleeper. I guess that's the only submission hold that Balor and Gargano know, because that's all they did the entire match pretty much. However, Gargano drops down, applies a leg lock. Neither was successful. Lee flings him off again. And then fight spills to the floor. Balor hits a sling blade to Lee on the floor. And then Gargano hits a rolling senton off the apron onto the champion. Last commercial break, Lee's sent crashing into the steps. And Balor and Gargano fighting in the ring as the show returns. And they pick up the pace because I think somebody realized they were about to miss their cue or go home late. Anyway, let's see. Balor hits a helo to the outside. Balor then hits the final cut on Gargano for near fall. And tries to hit up a final call and a sling blade to set things up. Lee takes out both Balor and Gargano with a slingshot crossbody, which how Keith Lee does the things he does, I will never know at his size. Super athletic dude. Mad respect for his athleticism at his size, or any size for that matter. Lee's handling them both. Balor, though, does manage a hope spot here. Comes out of the woodwork with the 1916 double stomp out of nowhere. And then Balor gets hit with an electric chair, applying a sleeper hold. Gargano jumps back into it and executes a slingshot DDT on Balor for near fall. Lee breaks this up, and Gargano caught him with a guillotine. Lee takes a tornado DDT, rolls to the outside. Gargano goes flying through the ropes with the greatest of ease on a flying trapeze, and Balor teases giving Gargano the 1916 on the floor. And then Lee goes for a powerbomb on Balor. Balor continues delivering the double stomp. Gargano intercepts and gets nailed with a slingshot dropkick. Lee falls onto Gargano in another callback to basically the pancake spot from a few weeks ago with Candice LeRae. Lee crotches Balor, and Gargano gets a almost cheap victory with a near fall with feet on the ropes. This would have gotten heat if they actually had people in the crowd. Lee hits the Big Bang Catastrophe, and Balor hits the Coup de Grace on Gargano to break up the subsequent pinning attempt. Balor runs into Lee, and Lee hits another Big Bang, covers Balor for the clean pinfall. Adam Cole comes out, stare down with Lee. They both hold up their respective championship belts, and they will meet at the July 8th main event. I mean, again, I mentioned it before, not a bad match to look forward to with Cole and Lee, but you either give a non-finish or you nullify one of your championships. Either way, nobody wins. Anyway, hope that was helpful. I will have the AEW Dark and Impact reviews up soon. May not go up tonight or within the next few hours because my internet is running slowly, but These will be recorded and up at latest by Thursday morning. But hope you keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.